Hi, now we're back, our discussion of modal harmonies. Now we're going to study the Phrygian scale. The Phrygian scale is based on the third note of the major scale. So as we said, we have a C scale. The third note would be E. So we're going to play a C scale from E to E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Now, an E minor scale would be E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, or D sharp, E, depending on which minor scale you use. But for now, our discussion is on modal harmony. So, the modal scale, the Phrygian scale, will be based on E minor because we are using the same chords in the key of C. We have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. So now we're going to have the same chords, but we're starting from E minor. So it's going to be E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished. Modal harmony, we stay away from the diminished though. C major, D minor, and then back to E minor. So now what makes the Phrygian scale, what sets it apart from E minor is the second note, the half step, E, F. That, because in a minor scale, that would be E, F sharp. So we have E, F. That's the important note. In fact, if you hear that's the modal scale, but now we're going to build a key on the Phrygian, E Phrygian. So we're going to have, our first chord will be E minor. The 2 chord will be F. The 3 chord will be G. The 4 chord will be A minor. We'll skip the B diminished, C major, D minor, and back to E minor. Now, a lot of Spanish music is based on the Phrygian scale. You know, when you hear that half step in the beginning. In that particular instance, so they use a major chord, E, F, G, F, E. So that is the important note. The main cadence then would be the 1 chord and any chord that would have that F in it. So it would be the F and the D minor will lead to the E minor. That's your main chords. E, F will pull to the E minor, and D minor will pull to the E minor. And that gives you the modal sound. The secondary chords then would be the G, the A minor, and the C. So if you're composing a piece of music or work and you want that modal sound, then you would mix, as we do in major, you would mix the primary and the secondary chords. So as we have done with the Dorian key, let's write a song together now using the Phrygian mode on E minor. And as very, very, very common today, let's do a verse, then we'll do a pre-chorus and a chorus. Now, in a lot of popular music today, you know, they will start with an introduction, go to the verse, pre-chorus, chorus, we go back to the verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and sometimes they will put the introduction in between, and then a bridge section, which we talked about in the Dorian discussion. We won't do that for this song. The bridge section in today's music is something a little different for a variety away from the verse and the pre-chorus and the chorus. So what I'd like you to do now is I will play the verse I will make up from the E minor, F, E minor, and D minor. And the pre-chorus I will use 2 of the secondary chords, G and A minor. And then the chorus I will go back and mix up some of the primary chords and the secondary chords. Now, as most songwriters 99%, as we've talked about, when they're interviewed, how do they write songs? They play chords on a guitar, piano, generates melodies in their mind, and that's how they come up with their songs. A lot of jazz musicians will do the same thing. Sometimes in jazz, in the many books you'll see, we'll play this, let's say, play against an E minor chord, play a Phrygian scale, or play, mix maybe another type of scale, whatever. Barney Kessel, great West Coast jazz guitarist, he proposed, what he said he would do is practice singing as the songwriters do. As he heard the chords, he would sing in his mind, and then through years of practice, it would almost instantly come out through his fingers. So that's another approach. That's a very musical approach. It's coming from in you, through your fingers out, rather than a cerebral approach where I'm going to play this scale or a diminished scale against it or whatever. You know, the study of jazz is a lifetime study, and you can research what scales and arpeggios are used against what chords superimposed above, whether you're using the notes of the chord or a scale, passing tones, or superimposing other chords above the chord. I mean, as I said, this is a lifetime study. But let's write a song now. Now, what I'd like you to do, if you'd like, improvise, use these notes, E, F, G, A, B. Use those notes, or maybe just sing. Just sing on La. If you have any words, just sing. This is how songwriters compose. So this will give us a Phrygian sound. So here we go. In fact, since you don't have to, this could be a rock song, could be a ballad, could be a country song, but since we talked about Spanish music, how about we put a Latin beat to this particular song? Could be anything. In fact, that's what many songwriters will use for inspiration. Take a rhythm beat and put chords to it, and that'll drive you in certain directions. Let's give it a try. Okay, so here's the verse. Chorus. Now the chorus. Okay, great. So I hope you sang along or played along, and so you hear the sound, the Phrygian sound. Now I will put up a chart to show you what that looks like. That chart is from my book, a book that I've written, The Songwriter's Guide to Melodies, and this book contains a discussion of all the modes and major and minor keys and quite a few other things too. So let's take a look at that chart, and then in the next discussion we will talk about the Mixolydian mode. Okay, so here we have the Phrygian mode. You can see the C scale starting from E to E, and the chords in the key of E Phrygian. So the primary chords are 1, 2, and 7. The secondary chords are 3, 4, and 6, and the diminished, the 5 chord, that really doesn't fit with modal harmony. So generally we leave that chord out. Great. So now we're ready. Check out the next discussion, and that will be on the Mixolydian mode.